stop or get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
Hey guys, Coach Dan here. I've been lifting for over 20 years. I've been personal training and coaching for over 10 years. I hold a degree in exercise and sports science. This channel, we're all about evidence-based hypertrophy training, focusing on real progress, real execution, real training. Today I'm going to take you through a push workout on my fat loss phase. I'm going to show you what I do, I'm going to explain why I'm doing it, and show you exactly how to execute so you can incorporate anything you see today into your own training and take your progress to the next level. So, as mentioned, this is a push workout on a fat loss phase for me. This is week 6 of a fat loss phase, and we're going pretty well. So we had a couple of rough days last week that felt a bit tough, but we are back feeling pretty good again and ready for training. So let's kick this push workout off. So we're starting with some lateral delt work, and we're actually going to do some pull-ups here today as well. So although it's a push day, I want to incorporate a few sets of pull-ups just to increase my volume on my pull-ups a bit. This is something I've done the last 3 or 4 weeks just to see how it goes. So the idea is if we can add, 3 or 4 sets of extra volume to the back here, and then we just watch the progress. It's not saying more volume is automatically better. It's just an experiment. Do I add these 4 sets of pull-ups in, and does my back get better? Then maybe that 3 or 4 sets is worth it. Alongside that, I've got some lateral delts. So I kick in all my workouts that involve lateral delts off with the lateral delts to prioritize them for the next period of time, next block of training. So there's a little bit of a different start. So we've got a cuffed lateral raise here. So we've got these 2 cuffs, which are normally used for kickbacks and the such. We're going to hook ourselves into those, if I can. I want them pretty tight, so that's probably a good thing, such that when I flip over here, they're not moving around. So we flip over, line up, so essentially wherever that kind of cable is facing, I want to push directly against that or raise directly against that. So I'll look back, check in with which direction that's going, and then I'll start my set such that I know exactly which direction to go in. So I'm pushing, I'm raising it directly against the resistance. Within a short duration, I'll kind of unhook from there. I'll climb up on this bench, and then I'll get ready to start my pull-ups. I might jot my reps down in between. But this is called a superset, and this is just a way to save a little bit of time within training to get that work in. So essentially I go from this, jot my reps down, climb up there, go to that. Pull-ups, we're always thinking about pulling the arm down into the pocket to focus on what we want. So we do these back to back at the beginning, saves time, gets that extra bit of volume in, prioritize the deltoids as that's a priority for me at the moment. All right, another early morning session, what are we at? We're kicking off at about 4:07. Yeah, 4:07 start, not too bad. Let's get it going. Okay, lateral delts with the behind the back lateral raise, that's done. I do have some more volume for that later, and pull-ups. So again, putting those pull-ups in this workout to get some extra volume. Now we move on to the actual chest component of the workout. We're going to start with incline Smith machine bench press. So Smith machine has some value versus a free weight from the perspective in my mind of stability. So because a Smith machine kind of sits on these rails, doesn't rattle around, doesn't shake, technique ultimately doesn't change too much. So you can just really focus on the muscle and taking that muscle close to failure. If you think about, free weight, you might be losing stability or balance or anything like that. And ultimately, this might not matter for progress. I think both seem that they will lead to equal progress as long as you push and try hard enough. But I feel better doing these from that perspective, that stability that can push really hard close to failure. And then we have the incline. Now I'm going on what I probably consider a medium incline, maybe about 30 degrees, to start to focus towards the upper pec. So if this weight is coming directly down and I start to lean forward, you can see even where the sort of bar is coming to, and what has to work will be higher up the chest. And that's the idea behind incline work. And again, with my preference at the moment is more towards the upper pec. So I start here while I'm fresh. When I came over here, there was a puddle here that kind of looked like shit and water. But I hope it's not shit and water because I'm right on top of it. All right, anyway, so a couple of the key points when doing an incline Smith machine bench press or any Smith machine variation is that you have to get the setup correct because it won't move. You can't kind of unrack it and move it to you. So you've got to get the bench into the correct position, which, again, there's no real way to know on a bench like this. You just kind of have to line it up, practice until you get the sweet spot where it's touching the point on your chest that you want. The other thing to consider is your hand width. So where your hand is, we want to essentially make it such that your elbow will be directly underneath the bar. So we're pushing directly up against resistance. So if you think if I was too far that way, I would be like this and almost be like externally rotating into position. So we want to be lined up such this way and with the hand position such that we're directly under the bar and we can push directly against the bar. All right, time to build the weight up and hit the chest work. Alright, chest work done. She is a grind at the moment. Getting any little bit of progress on that's going to be hard. So yeah, it's interesting. I'll look back and reflect when, you know, the fat loss phase is done. Like, what is it about this phase that caused like chest stuff to not progress very well, but other things progress well? So like, as an example, lower body stuff on this day hasn't taken a massive hit. Not on this day, in this program, back stuff, like all this kind of stuff are hanging in there and grinding it out. So, you know, can we identify why it is that chest stuff is not making progress? That's going to be interesting, yeah, because what I have done, which is another variable, which I said not to change too many variables, is add work in front of the chest stuff, so the lateral delts and the pull-ups. Yeah, so goal will be to identify what it is that's not allowing it to make progress. Like, is it a recovery issue? Is it a volume issue? Am I doing too much, too little? Which doesn't seem, it seems like it would be an obvious choice, but for me it's not. I feel sore from session to session, so more volume maybe is not a great idea. Recovery, maybe that soreness is, you know, an issue that is not allowing me to progress, so I could bring down the volume or something like that. Something along those lines. Maybe it is, that's just the lateral delts have gone first, maybe it's a diet, so could do things such as, you know, once we finish this, exit the diet, see what happens to progress. If it's good, happy days, you know. All right, we're going overhead, seated, V-bar, cable tricep extension. So I, in times gone by, have just done this at a cable machine where we bring a cable up overhead and we tricep extension. This gym has a nice little machine here that's already got it set up and seated, so we're nice and stable. So essentially you'll push this foot down and kind of yanks this bad boy up. I grab my V-bar, get my hands into the correct position while I'm sort of got that thing on. Let off that tension, elbows up nice and high, control it down, and then we're done. So, important thing to know about tricep training is that the tricep is a three-headed muscle, hence the term tri. One of the heads of the tricep not only passes the shoulder like the other heads, but also passes into the scapula. So when we bend the elbow, we stretch the tricep out, but that head, the long head, doesn't get potentially fully stretched out till we kind of raise the arm up and then stretches through there a little bit more. And that stretch or that lengthened position potentially has some value in training. So not every exercise has to take you to a fully lengthened position necessarily, but maybe every now and again it's worth having an exercise in your program that does challenge you in that lengthened position. All right, let's find our weight and get going. Alright, next up we've got our shoulder press variation. Now, once upon a time, I balked at doing this machine because I got on for about 20 seconds, figured that the setup wasn't correct for me and then moved on. Never put it in my mind again. However, after having a little play around here, it feels pretty good and it's easy, pin loaded. Big fan of this stage of the workout and this exercise not being a massive priority for it to be nice and easy and efficient. So pin loaded, I've now found a good setup, good height of the bench. I'm going to go overhand position. Previous to this, I have been doing a plate loaded version, and a downside to that plate loaded version is the resistance curve, which it's really hard, easier at the bottom and it gets hard as it goes. These pin loaded machines have more of a consistent resistance, so potentially more effective there. And yeah, easy, get on, put the weight fucking pin stack to what you want and you're ready to go. So yeah, this handle probably not suited for me because it's kind of angled forward, but this handle feels about right. It feels like I can press directly up from where it is resisting me. I can line up with the machine really well, and so far feels pretty good. So we'll stick with this one. And yeah, maybe I should be less judgmental, but that's just how I am. Bit of a judgmental person. All right, let's get a couple sets in here. Again, not a massive priority, just making sure the anterior delt's getting some love. And then we are almost there. This has been a bit of a grind, this one. Let's finish it off. Alright, capping the workout out with our lateral delt work. So in this workout, I've already done at the beginning, behind the back, cable lateral raise. But on this day, I have an opportunity to get some extra volume in, and that's been a recent focus of mine. Putting some extra volume on back, lateral delts and arms, and see what the result is. Now, there'll be people out there that sort of crying, you know, you don't need more volume, blah, 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 blah. It's an experiment. So you put it in there. You could be right, could not need more volume, but you put it in, see if it works, and if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, then you change it back to what it was. But this is just something I'm trying at the moment to see if that extra volume aids in better progress, which isn't like an overnight kind of thing for me personally. It kind of takes some time to really see if it's making progress. Anyway, another easy, an easy setup at this stage of the workout I'm a big fan of, and this machine is good enough. So it's a lateral raise machine. So arms on the inside here, my seat is all the way to the top. If your seat's down low, your arm sinks lower and lower into there until it's like at the shoulder, and kind of makes it hard to move, as well as makes your leverage really good, which means you have to lift heavier weight than you might be able to if you're all the way at the top. From here, raise out to the side, thinking about the lateral delt, pulling my arm up and out. So lateral delt, deltoid tuberosity, side part of the shoulder or the acromion, we're pulling these 2 points together. The other thing that you can do is move the arm further forward or back, depending on what feels comfy for you. So you kind of find the spot that feels most effective for you, whatever you want to do with your hands, soft grip or fist or whatever it might be, out to the side. Bada bing, bada boom, 3 sets. We're going pretty lightish on the weight because we are at the stage of the workout, just to finish them off.
No, I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always